Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Tech Life with the Tech Divas. I'm here with TJ all the way from New York City. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and Francine is running stuff in the background. Woo! Hopefully, she'll be taking a seat soon. We've heard from Dr. Tachi. She'll be joining us in 10, all the way from Florida. So we are just excited to have tech information coming from all over the country. Now, I want you to sit back and relax and get ready to talk tech in English. We're going to start with This Week in Tech, and I'm going to share a couple of articles from our favorite website here from Marcel Brown called This Day in Tech History. Toy Story changes the movies. That's true. November 22nd, 1995, Walt Disney Pictures releases the Pixar Animation Studios production Toy Story, the first major motion picture that is created completely by computer-generated animation. A breakthrough film, Toy Story, set the standard for all future computer animated films to follow and capitulated Pixar into a household name. Wow.
Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Again, making stuff user friendly and fun. The birth of the internet, November 21, 1969, a little less than a month after the first test message was sent, not text, but test message. The first permanent link on the ARPA net is established between UCLA and Stanford Research Institute, as the ARPANET was the foundation of the modern internet. This connection can now be considered the very first link of what we now know as the internet. So we thank you, UCLA and Stanford.
Thank you.
November 20th, 1985, Windows 1.0 ships. 2 years after initially being announced, Microsoft finally ships the first version of Windows. Originally slated to be shipped in April of 1984, the long delay caused skeptics to begin to accuse Windows of being vaporware due to the relatively high demands of the then current PC technology. Windows 1.0 was generally considered too slow to be usable.
Hmm.
It wasn't until Windows that the operating system began to generate significant sales.
Windows 3. I remember that.
Really?
I remember Windows 3.
Wow.
I do.
You do? Oh,
Mhm.
man. Okay. Coming through the different generations and versions of software. Amazon ignites the Kindle. Hmm.
Ooh.
November 19th, 2007. That's not too bad. That's like 12 years. Amazon introduces their Kindle ebook reader. Where other companies have released ebook readers in previous years with limited success, the Kindle, integrated with Amazon's industry leading book distribution system, helped catapult the e reader into the mainstream consciousness. The Kindle sold out within 5 hours of its debut. I remember Oprah talking about having her Kindle on the beach and how she just loved to sit there and just flip the pages on her Kindle. I remember that. That was
Right.
a big deal. And we're going to close with this one. Well, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, we're going to do this one, and then I'm going to say a little bit about the telephone. November 19th, 2006, Nintendo releases the Wii game console to complete the Sony PlayStation 3. and Microsoft Xbox 360. By foregoing raw computing power for increased player interaction, utilizing the innovative motion sensitive Wiimote controller, the Wii defied expectations and became the best selling seventh generation game console. I
I remember I
remember,
had a lot of fun with that Wii.
yeah,
We
my
had a lot of
grandkids
fun.
loved it.
Oh, it was fun. It as soon as you put the controllers in your hand, it was addictive because you were playing the game, with your hands and stuff. Before it was just a wired controller. So
Uh-huh. Oh wow. So now
fun.
you could actually be physical with it. I remember we were
Yeah, you had to
bowling.
be physical. I liked it because they had a tennis game, and you
Mhm.
would be these little me characters, MII, and you would
Uh-huh.
just, and you would hit the ball like you're playing tennis. So you got exercise and it was fun. So that was
Exactly.
the
I
good thing
remember they
about
had
the Wii.
bowling. Yes.
And bowling, yes, that was good.
Yes. So
All good times.
and I'm going to close with this one. Telephones get a push. November 18th, 1963, Bell Telephone offers the first electronic push button phones to customers in Carnegie and Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I remember we had one.
Mm.
I'm from that area. My
Nice.
grandmother lived out by Carnegie.
Now, when was it? 1963? Because a lot
1963.
of households did not adopt it for a while, even though
Oh
it was out in
no.
1963. We want to point
We
that
had
out.
a remember
Yeah,
that
we had
rotary
the
phone?
I remember that when I was a little, yeah.
Dial-tone multi-frequency technology, i.e. touchtone, was also introduced on the same day in order to accommodate the new push button phones. And for those of you who don't know what a push button phone is,
You have one? Oh, I thought I
are you
thought you were
kidding?
gonna pull one out. I was gonna laugh. Oh my goodness. But you know what this story is indicative of, that back then when technology came out, it was not a mass rush to adaptation, because it
Mm-mm.
took many years for a lot of people to move from, and I think you had to buy that phone. I think you had to purchase the button phone when
You
they
probably
came.
did.
Yeah, you had to purchase it. So the rollout of that was really slow, really slow. So you would think in 1963 everybody ran out? No, they didn't.
No.
It took a long time, very
Only if
long
you
time.
wanted to be cool.
Yeah,
Dr. Tachi's in the house. We're going to add her to the stream. How you doing?
Hey,
Fine. How are you?
All is well. We were talking about the touchtone phone. We're really going there.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
We
it
were
came
doing
out
this day
yeah,
in
this
tech.
day. Mhm.
She's like, "Do you even know what a touchtone phone is, Tachi?" Because
The one with the button.
I do. I do.
Okay.
That was when you started hearing the tones for
Yes.
things.
Boop,
And that
boop, boop,
really
boop.
actually, yes,
Mhm.
that because they came from the dial
Yeah,
phone.
that's what we're
And
saying. Mhm.
yeah, and it really actually kind of jump started, if you think about it, this whole computer age, in terms of, because being able to hear the tones determine the thing. Press one for such and such. They're
Right.
able to
Right.
direct you in different.
Right. Right. But I was saying that it took, even though it came
this
out in
Donna says
63,
this.
go ahead. It only cost about $20.
Donna said it costs about $20.
$1963.
Well,
Wow.
that's
Not
right.
Wait,
That's a big
$2019.
difference.
$1963?
That's a lot of
That's a
money.
lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It is. $20
Yes,
is a
you did
lot
a lot.
now.
No. So no, they were not
Wow.
running out to buy.
No.
Mm.
Wow. So that concludes this week in tech. I hope you guys got a little fun out of that.
We did.
We're going to start this off with a couple of things. I just want to share that it seems that Gmail has offered some things that appear to be a little more dynamic in terms of how you view your emails. Now they're adding some features where you don't have to come out of the app to shop. You know how it says this is going to redirect you to a different browser or something?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're allowing you to stay in the browser. Let's see.
Inside of the app.
Yeah, inside of the app and sort of pull up these kinds of things. Let's see if I can get it to show. And you see how it's just sort of rolling there inside the app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that is a new feature. And I noticed that it's just in time for Christmas. Did you notice that?
Oh, well, how convenient.
Just in
Yeah,
time for
everything's
Black
coming out
Friday.
about now.
Yeah. So all the sales are out and it's interactive. It says that it's interactive on Outlook.com. Some other people who've signed up are Booking.com, Doodle, Freshworks, Next, Pinterest, Redbus, several others are
Mm-hmm.
getting into it to utilize it. So you may see some different interaction in your email, and it keeps things from it. Well, it will automatically update the content
Right.
inside the email, so the stuff stays fresh.
Right.
The offer is renewed, sort of automatically, which I thought was interesting. But the last thing I want to share real quick is that Amazon. Amazon's getting ready to open up some grocery stores. We know about the ghost stores
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and the fact that they're trying to upgrade those to about 10,000 square feet. But they're talking about going into like the 30,000 square feet, like the regular grocery
Yes,
store.
a regular size. Yes.
And they are buying up some of the smaller grocery stores. They're not going to change Whole Foods, but they're getting into the quote unquote traditional, what I would call
Right.
traditional grocery
Traditional. Yeah.
store
Traditional
look.
stores.
And we're not sure whether or not they're going to just allow you to check out without checking out, or just walk out.
See, this is the thing. I like I said before, I kind of like the concept, but I was just thinking, what keeps someone from stealing, from walking out? Because you'll just pick it up and leave. But this is the thing: in order to enter the store, you have to, I think, open the app or something. You have to do with Amazon.
Access.
Yeah, with access. So
That
that
makes
that
sense.
could be a deterrent to theft. That you can't come in until you. But then there's a whole backlash behind cashless in Philadelphia. I think we were talking about that Philadelphia has a law that you have to accept cash, and so I don't know. We're getting into this thing.
That's the thing again, like you said, is the access thing. When you have stores that only accept certain forms of payment,
Right.
that leaves out an entire segment of the population that doesn't use electronic payments. Some people, barely even have bank accounts, let alone that. So I think you run into that issue where it's like, okay, well, you're saying then that this store is only for XYZ. Now, is that wrong? That's another thing,
Well, it
because
also
Right.
disrupts the
I
whole
agree.
notion
I
of
mean, I love the concept because that's one of my peeves is going to the grocery store, the supermarket, and having
I
to
don't have a
wait in
problem
lines with things people. Huh?
with the cashless issue, but what it
But people,
does do, it it undermines the current system of exchange, does it not? Does it undermine Fort Knox and all of that
well,
stuff?
you have to look at what's going on in China and
Mhm.
Asian countries where they are that's what they do. Also, I think it's Sweden.
They're paperless. They're moving
They
towards.
don't. There's no cash. They don't do that. It's all phones because mostly everyone has one. So you have to look at what's coming. It's the same thing with you could say with the way we the way we have energy reserves and we're reliant on gas and coal instead of new energy technologies. It's like one side is resistant to change and the other side is like, okay, technology is coming in a wave and it's going to you either ride the wave or it's going to it's going to go over you. That's the thing. So we have to figure out what's the best way to get everyone who doesn't have the card or whatever. How does the government or whoever determines that, okay, if a person doesn't have the card or the app to come in, then there has to be a side that brings that, what I'm saying, bring that side up instead of us not.
Here's the deal. So what if you have phones, because you distribute these government phones, but then you don't have enough bandwidth
Oh, you get free bandwidth. You get internet, and you get a smartphone with the. They want to call it Obama phone, but it's I forgot the name of it.
But it's
You don't
unlimited
get you
access.
get a smartphone. You don't
Yeah,
get
but what about the access to the internet? Is it unlimited? I don't know.
They give you data. They give it's a small amount.
It's not unlimited. It's
not
gonna
it's
be
enough for you
unlimited.
to say if you wanted to go to the whatever it is. They give you a certain amount each month of data. It's not like, and it's not going to be on par with someone who pays for their cell service. It can't be. So, but you do get it. You do get a smartphone, and you do get data service. You get access. Not a lot, but you get enough to say, do a couple of things, move around, whatever, and then it resets every month. So if you get in a free service like that, you have to allocate your resources, right?
Oh, see.
I'm sorry, Mom. I can't call you this month because I got to do X, Y,
But the
Z.
same thing with people who are getting the SNAP and whatever to buy. It doesn't last them the month. They have to economize and be resourceful. So same thing with this. So there's not a barrier to it.
Yeah.
So in this instance, we can't. Don't make it a store where we're not going to accept cash. Make it a store where, okay, if you have a credit card or you have the Amazon, whatever, fine. And also, I want to point out that Amazon Prime, you can get it if you're on assistance. If you're on government assistance, they have a lower cost Amazon Prime. So there's not the barrier to say, well, the less fortunate or whatever, they don't have it. It's there. So we had to say, okay, how do we bring it up? And that could be private industry, not private industry, nonprofit. There could be a growth for nonprofit there to say, okay, we're going to bridge the gap between what you have and what you need to get into the Amazon store or get Amazon Prime because that's the way the technology is going to go. Because we can't stand still and say a certain segment of society can't do it. There's always been a thing where there's a government program,
subsidy or grant,
so that's what you have to allow.
Okay.
Yeah.
To allow.
Yeah.
We got some comments over here, ladies. How you doing, Donna? Donna's here from Green Earth Travel.
Yeah.
And Jalil is here. Hey, Jay. And Brenda's in the house.
Here from all the way from Italy.
Right. And Donna was saying that her father purchased a car phone.
Yeah, she was saying car phone, and he had a Betamax. All these words that people don't know. If you're under a certain age, you don't know what a Betamax is.
I think I have a Betamax rewinder that one of the contestants in my life left behind.
Wow, contestants. Are you the Price is Right?
Yes.
An answer machine. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He also purchased the answering machine. It cost a couple of wow, he was really techie. And what else is going on here?
Who remembers the answering machine? No, I'm not laughing at it. I'm just saying, like, the things we had to have, and now you have a smartphone and it does everything for you.
Right.
Versus you had to have a phone with buttons. You had to have the answer machine next to it as a physical machine, and then it had a tape in it, and then it became tape. It's just all of the, laughing at all the things we had to do.
Stages that we've been through.
You had to carry a dime or a quarter. Now it's you had to carry change for the phone in case
for the payphone.
Yes, for the payphone.
Exactly.
Hey, you still have to carry change for the parking meter. Do you remember that? Now you stick a charge card in it.
Oh yeah, and you don't even have to do that. I hear like in South Florida, in most places, they do the pay by phone or the thing. So all you have to do is download the app. Your stuff is already in there, and just put in the location of where you are to park.
Wow.
Let me tell you how that has saved. I mean, they still have the parking meters where you could pay there, but then you have to take the thing back to the car. Now you could just put in your location and buy. It's wonderful.
Okay, so do you see Brenda's comment I put up? She doesn't know what a Betamax and she's over 40.
Okay.
Do you remember? You don't remember the
it was
VCRs first came out, and there was a format war between VHS and Betamax. It was the format of the cartridge, I believe it was.
It's a tape rewinder, Brenna. If you've ever had a cassette tape and you rewinded a tape, it's the same thing. It's just for video. Is that right?
Well, you're talking about the rewinder as opposed to the format. So
we talk about the format.
The format, Betamax was one format. Then they had VHS. They also had a more professional
Laserdisc
arenas. Well, no, the three-quarter inch tape. So the big tapes. So that's really what they, television stations, etc. use. But some people had the 3/4 inch. But the consumer market was really a war, like you said, between Betamax and VHS, which VHS ultimately won out.
Right. And we had it recently with Blu-ray and
Blu-ray. Exactly.
There was
a Blu-ray. Yes. And I remember one of the film festivals. This was not that long ago, in 2012, that I submitted to. They wanted our stuff that we actually got into. They wanted our stuff on Blu-ray. I was like, damn it, Blu-ray. So can you just take this DVD that I've burned for you and be happy?
And be happy with it.
But no, I had to go and put it on Blu-ray. But I mean, ultimately now we're talking about formatless media where we're streaming stuff. Most people are not buying hard media anymore to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Nazim's, Jason, that Amazon should just buy at the Safeway stores, but that's an opinion. Okay. Nazim says, hey, it's Friday. So we want to say hi to Nazim over there in Italy.
Okay. And Brenna, I'm loving you today. She says, I remember 8-track.
Wow.
Whoa, we really going old school. She said, I remember 8-tracks. Yeah. Boom box, 8-tracks, all that. So we've always had like a format war whenever there was a new technology coming out, when things were changing. So one always wins out. So
absolutely, and nothing stays forever.
No.
So I think, sometimes what happens is there's a resurgence of things for people that are nostalgic of it. So, for example, in terms of a video now, the film world, is mostly digital because it's cheaper. But there are some purists who still like to shoot on 35 millimeter, as expensive as it is, or 16. Which is the way I learned. But I'm like, well, I'm not spending that kind of money. There are still some purists who like to shoot 35 millimeter film if they do photography. There's a resurgence of vinyl now, especially with like DJs, So we go through these cycles of feeling nostalgic for older forms of media and we bring them back. But the reality is, for the mass market, these things are not going to come back.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah.
And the easier it is, the better it is.
Vinyl, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I love vinyl. I absolutely love vinyl. But when I learned to DJ, once upon a time, I learned on vinyl. And that was like in the early 2000s because my teacher was a vinyl aficionado. So that's how I learned. And to me, I can kind of tell the difference in sound between vinyl and when people scratch and stuff with CDs. But it doesn't matter. The masses are the ones who determine the market. So you could sit there and protest in front of RCA or whoever for vinyl saturation again. It doesn't matter. If the masses don't want it, it's not going to happen.
And then Natalie, hey Natalie, she says vinyl is exploding, especially in Europe. Vinyl plants can't keep up with production and are backlogged several months. And also the same thing with cassettes. They're still making those. There's people that want their music on that.
See, let me tell you something. Go ahead.
My grandson was trying to use the cassette player out in the garage. He didn't know how to put it out, and it was sort of standing up. I said, okay, I know what happened here.
The thing is, ultimately with cassette magnetic tape, what people don't realize about any type of magnetic tape, which is cassette tapes, also VHS and Betamax, is magnetic tape is what we call an analog format. So it's physical.
Yeah.
Whenever you drop a tape, remember when you used to watch VHS tapes and you would notice the little glitches? That's because when you drop a tape, information falls off of it. It's not a digital format. So it physically falls off of it. So that's why you would have these little glitches. So, you know, they came up with far superior formats to save things, because all of this is great. But the thing is, eventually, if you're not careful with these formats, if you're playing them over and over, the cassette tapes are going to twist up and warp and break.
All kinds of things.
All kinds of things. And I currently live in a place that's very humid. I have some cassette tapes. If they even play, I'll be very surprised because of the humidity and the way you have to keep things. So I think putting things in a digital format, even if it degrades the quality of the look or the sound, for the longevity of the creation is better.
And Natalie says, who's about to be put here rewinding cassettes with a number 2 pencil? 1994 wants his tape back. Yeah, we
remember that so well.
Get the pencil and
or like if you were okay, so back in the day, like in the 80s, I remember I had like a Walkman, but I wasn't gonna put out the money, my little coins for the Sony Walkman, because the Sony Walkman actually had a rewind button. A lot of the cheaper ones only had a fast forward, so you had to turn the tape around, fast forward it in order to rewind it to where you need it.
Okay.
Oh, the struggle.
Suffer the children, right?
Yeah.
And then Jay says, funny that kids won't know what floppy disk, cassette tapes, all that. Funny to watch when what they think they're used for. Yes, because there's a YouTube or somewhere on YouTube. They put these things in front of children and ask them what is it, like they put a VCR in front of them and say, what is this, and they explain. It's really funny to hear them say. They put a telephone with the buttons in front of them, and they're like, well, what is that? What do you use that for? And the answers they come up with is hilarious. It's some kind of YouTube channel. Forgot what it was.
But you know what I don't accept? I don't accept not knowing things. I understand that you didn't grow up with this or whatever, but we didn't grow up with certain things, but we still know.
I think they don't care. They
really don't care.
They don't care.
Well, the question is, are we sure they don't know? And
you have to teach them. You have to teach them. I, as a parent, if there's something comes up and whatever, and I see my daughter is interested, I will tell her the history. Well, this is what we had to do. I will tell her that. But if the parents not doing that, then they're not going to know.
Yeah, I think we take a lot for granted too. That if they see something they don't know what it is, they can just Google it. You know what I mean? Like, what is Google? Absolutely. What is this picture? You know.
Absolutely. But see, that's the thing with research that I'm talking about. Even though, again, there were certain things that were not of our time. Like, we're talking about some of the things we're talking about. I'm like, that's before my time, but I still know about it.
Right.
Because research is. Yes, exactly.
Telegraph.
Exactly. Research and history and those types of things were important. And it's not just history. History is actually what teaches us how to make things better. So if you don't know that, you don't understand that this didn't work before. So this is how you make it better.
It's the attitude that they have, and I'll say maybe Gen Z, maybe some millennials, is that they don't care. They don't care about the past. They
have the attitude. Not caring.
They have the
caring.
Right, because I remember maybe a few years ago about during Halloween and all these, younger people and, not kids, but they were, working adults, say in their 20s, and they were showing up at work in all these inappropriate Halloween costumes. And then when they were told why it wasn't inappropriate, they didn't really care. It was like, that's in the past. What that got to do with me? I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Well, cultures change. Cultures shift.
Absolutely. This is not the get off my lawn type of moment. You understand that shifts, but I think there are still some things where there is, respect is respect. Right is right. I don't care what, time it is. So I'll give an example. So Terralina, I'm sure you can attest to this. We did an interest meeting for young ladies for the organization that I'm in and for the Deltas. And this is when we were trying to start a chapter at the university I worked at.
Okay.
When they came, I looked at some of their shoes. I said, those are stripper shoes.
They don't
but to them, that's dressed up. But I'm like, nobody wears these type of platforms except for strippers. And this is what you came to this meeting in. And for them, again, styles change and things
But
change.
see, now my question to you, Tachi, would be that as the sponsor,
A
you
teaching
perceive
moment.
those to be stripper shoes. What did the undergrads think of the shoes?
Oh, the undergrads thought, well, that's the thing. The undergrads thought that they were
Hot?
they all hot. They all came. Now they looked nice, but they came and they had the stripper shoes on. That's what I call them anyway. And again, that's because
That's because I'm going to put this up. You mature women were interviewing these ladies, but if they had been interviewed by their peers probably thought these are dynamite.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, because they all had them on. They all had
But
them
if
on.
it's a situation where you're trying to educate them on saying going beyond the, you have
to catch
culture they are, and they're going into the real world, into the working world, you have to tell them, listen, that's appropriate for school, but when you're moving into work mode and work as an adult, those things aren't appropriate, and you'll go into a situation where you won't get a job or an opportunity because you decided to wear the stripper shoes.
And that's the whole purpose of the organization.
That's the purpose of the organization. And here's the thing: afterwards, because I knew a lot of the young ladies, because some of them were my students. I said, you know what? Come to my office after. Like, yes, Dr. Agnew. So I'm like, those are stripper shoes, right? Really?
It's a teachable moment.
It's a teach. So you take it to teach. You don't just sit there like, look at them. They came with stripper shoes on. You take that. And you teach them, but that's the thing about understanding and knowing history as well, and knowing, what's appropriate for when, and then, also using, not just being beholden to the styles of the day, understanding, exactly, understanding culture, understanding when this is appropriate and when it's not appropriate. Now, is this all made up stuff? Absolutely. Is it all largely patriarchal? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, these are some of the things that are put in place, and these are some of the things that culture hold in esteem. So you respect that.
Right. But I think to me, it feels like there's more of a disconnect between like we would know what something happened in, 50 years or whatever. But with them, I feel like it's attitude of a disconnect, and they don't care to connect. And they're like,
girl, I want you to know the chat is burning up.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the chat. Who you want to start with? Where do we go?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Natalie Cruz comment, yo.
I gotta scroll all the way back.
I know. I mean, they're like,
oh, here we go. I wanted to. Natalie says, these kids will never know the joy of burning up a brownie in an easy bake oven on Saturday morning cartoons. Yes,
you're right. With a damn light bulb. Yes.
And Jason, grandma would tell us what in her day they had to walk to school in the snow so high, and we have school buses to take us to school. Yes, the older people will say, well, in my day I had to walk, what are we complaining about? Let's see, who else? Anna says taking the student to the office privately is a nice touch. So that is the teaching moment. And Nazim says, can I get stripper shoes on Amazon? My birthday. Yes, you can. You can anything on Amazon, anything you want. Just go and type in stripper shoes and see what stripper shoes.
Oh my God.
Now I don't know what your Amazon history gonna look like,
or what they're gonna start pushing towards you.
And here's the thing with that, not to labor the point of stripper shoes, but one of the things I have to, and it's connected to media. One of the things that I always had to do, when I was in the physical classroom as opposed to online now, is teach, because I'm trying to cultivate media makers. A lot of them wanted to be newscasters or, reporters and anchors. Right. And, this is a very different market. Miami, South Florida is a very different market. So the things you can wear here on the news, you cannot wear any place else.
I've seen some things where they've got the short. They look like they're going to the club to me.
Exactly. I think the whole thing has changed.
The very tight bandage dress, and it's very short.
Yes.
The makeup and the hair.
They love that here.
Just Florida, honey.
It's not just Florida, but I think Florida, I think they led the way with this type of thing, because also in the Latin American news market, that's very acceptable. And this is like the gateway to Latin America. And we have a lot of Spanish language television. So I think that kind of crossed over to, quote, mainstream news and media as well. I think it
crossed over with the age group. You know what I'm saying?
That too.
I think they can still stand in them shoes. You know, I can't stand in them. I had to come down off them shoes after a couple of kids.
Yes,
but I had some pretty high heels when I started in corporate America, because I would walk to work in my tennis shoes and then put my pumps on when I got
and then you change. Absolutely. When I have shoes that, you know, when these are strictly for teaching, and when I tore my ACL, I had to wear flats and sneakers and stuff. And my students said, it must kill you not to wear heels. I said, do I really wear heels that much? They all in unison said, yes. And I didn't realize how much a part of my outfits those heels were until I couldn't wear them anymore. But then I said, now, why would I not be wearing these sneakers? These are fabulous. So, but you know, it's really something when I look at the news here, especially, and we get to see the entire outfit of people, the people that are meteorologists that are doing traffic and weather. And I'm like, do you really think that's cute? But
here's the deal. I'm gonna close with this, because
go ahead.
You're not old enough to remember this, but when Weather Girls started out, they had some really interesting outfits that were required to do the weather.
Wow.
So these girls might be a little more covered than kids in Daisy Dukes and Poynton, and because there was no standard. And they were just considered weather girls.
Oh.
Sort of like, you know how the people come out with the cards for the fights?
Yes.
For the rounds? She's like, so, you know, coverage is relative.
Oh, so they look like they must look like they have on burqas then today compared to what they used to have. Wow.
It depends on how far back you go and what market. So I'm sorry I went down the rabbit hole. We were supposed to be talking about tech today. So ladies, you got the floor. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, since we're talking about that, the story that I have about what's going on with Facebook, it kind of ties into this really. So Facebook, you know about Facebook dating, right? The section where you can find a date on Facebook and hook up and all of that. So now what they're doing is they're allowing that section to have their own story section. I'm trying to bring this.
Yeah, I saw that. Stories is now in the dating game.
Facebook dating is going to integrate with Instagram and Facebook stories.
Yeah.
But here's the key when I read about this. So you know how, you know, some people when they go on the dating sites, they put this cropped photo of, you know, hey, it's but if you're doing stories, it's kind of like, well, that's the real you versus the Photoshop photo that you put on your dating site. So people going to have to be mindful of that.
I have a question. Also, I don't understand how this is going to integrate.
Okay, so what it is that the dating section has its own story feature.
Mm-hmm.
But you can bring over stories that you put on Facebook stories and Instagram stories into the dating section.
Oh, wait a minute.
People who you want to attract will see the real you.
So wait a minute. So you can bring your Instagram stuff into the dating app? I thought they were trying to keep all that separate so that people couldn't stalk you.
No. They're trying to get more interaction with Facebook dating. So they're allowing you to do a story on Instagram and you can share it over.
Now, do they have, you know, when you're on Instagram, for example, it allows you to share that to Facebook. Has the button appeared yet? Or does it just appear for people who have bought in or subscribed to?
Well, I was going to look at it, but I was like, I don't want to set up Facebook dating. But I think once you set it up, Once you set up the Facebook dating, then you probably have the option to do that.
Okay, to do that. Okay, okay.
But I was going to investigate for the purpose of this story, but I was like, I'm not going, because I'm thinking, I don't need, Facebook don't need to know more about me than they already do, because I'm not
Girl,
getting
I went through the thing of setting it up, but I couldn't press the go button. I couldn't.
Right. So
I wanted to see
set up for Facebook dating. There's the way they ask, and it's like, okay, it's gonna be you and this and that. I was like, you know what? No, Facebook, no. I don't want to do that.
Nazim says, I'm so happy I'm married. If I had a date today, I would be like a fish outside of the fishbowl.
You know,
I feel you, Nazim.
So I'm sorry, Terry. Go ahead.
So I mean, I just thought that was just interesting that there, and it also shows, that stories it has been for the last couple of years, that stories has consumed people's attention more so than the feed of Facebook or the feed of Instagram. That stories, it really is a thing that's becoming like, okay, you're doing more stories than posting an actual post on your feed, because it's quick and easy. But I was looking at it going, okay, if you have manufactured whatever for dating because you want to have a this is my best side, whatever, would you do a story, they're going to see like, okay, there's the whole you, so you're exposing more. So
I know. We have to call Tachi and let her crop us. So here's Terry's story. What? Why can I only see her eyes?
And then you would be doing those eyes instead of just regular.
So, and then more on the vein of the dating and stuff. And I thought this story was it's not really dating, but it's more like on a male female kind of thing. Women are pretending to be men on Instagram to avoid sexist censorship.
I mean, what kind of sexist?
They're changing their profile to say gender, that they're male instead of female.
Okay, so does that mean we can get a better rate with the Apple Card?
Right.
Yeah, the Apple.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a thing that's happening with Apple, with Instagram. Where else did I read about? There was some kind of problem with being, it was discrimination with female versus male. But it seems to be a thing.
Amazon.
That's it. So what this is specifically on Instagram is that it's female pole dancers, fitness instructors, and sex workers who use Instagram as their livelihood to, it's the same thing on YouTube that's going on. Oh, YouTube is making all these changes, so I can't make a living. So they're saying the same thing on Instagram. Instagram is making all these changes. I can't make a living as someone who shows their body in a way that's sexually suggested or not. In the case of a fitness instructor, because you've seen those fitness, the video and the posts on Instagram, they're very sexually suggestive. So Instagram made a change in April to kind of suppress that kind of information. And it's taking effect now in the fact that people are saying that their business they're not getting as much engagement on Instagram as they did before. But it's not because Instagram is censoring them, it's because Instagram has changed it to where if you're showing sexually suggestive images or video, they're suppressing you from the Explore tab. And I want to tell you why that is, because YouTube is doing kind of the same thing with with the COPA, the Children's Online Protection Act. It's because the days of you posting whatever you want on YouTube and social media, those days are kind of going away, because it affects the money, the revenue that these social media channels get, because advertisers don't want to be surrounded by things that are sexually suggestive or things that children cannot watch. You know what I'm trying to say?
Correct.
It cuts the revenue stream off of YouTube and Facebook in the form of ad revenues, because advertisers do not want to be in a place where or next to or be an ad on a video or a photo that is sexually suggestive, even though it may be a fitness instructor showing a move or whatever, but she's wearing something revealing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That to them, they don't want to be. They don't
They
want their
want to
brand
know twerk
associated
zone.
with that.
They want to know twerk zone. Okay, so
So and one thing about this is that what I want to say is because I read one of the pieces that said the sex worker said, oh, well, this is how I survive. This is how I make a living. What am I going to do? How about go get a job? Because Instagram don't owe you no money. YouTube don't owe you no money. You understand?
This is why I kind of don't feel sorry for
Right.
and I don't know, maybe it's well, because on one hand, I do feel some type of way when they change algorithms and do things that affect creators
Right.
that use that to
Right.
generate revenues and they can't do ad revenue or whatever. Fine.
Right.
But I doubt that. Well, I don't know how to say this nicely. I can't. You being, in my estimation, you being a sex worker, I'm sure you make much more in some cases from your sex work than you do on Instagram, or maybe it's about equal.
Instagram is just the funnel. Okay,
it's just the fun. Exactly, that's the conduit to get to what
so
you
maybe
really
what
want.
they really need to do, Touchy, is just form a private group. Go over there and do whatever.
Well, exactly, or pay for it. There are services where you can pay for that type of thing and put whatever the hell you want. But when it's free, they don't owe you anything.
Right, it's free. That's my point. It's free.
Right.
So Instagram being Nadeem, I saw your message. Hold on. Instagram being the popular tool for online attention, they want to be a part of it, even though you're in an area where it's not a popular thing. Do you understand? In the instance of the sex worker, okay, I'm getting more business and work off of Instagram, but Instagram is like, hold up, wait a minute, this is not what it's supposed to be for. Now you can be on Instagram, but we're not going to show you in the explore tab, and people aren't going to discover you because you're showing sexually suggestive imagery and stuff, and we put in place rules that we don't want to show that. Hold on, Nazeem. I'm going so go ahead and talk about that while I'm getting Nazeem in here.
Okay. Well.
Oh, okay.
Brenda has a comment here. I'm gonna let you take a look at this, Tachi. Says on Instagram, I added a hashtag caregiver, and I decided to look at caregivers, and all this nasty stuff came up, and adults posing in diapers and stupid stuff. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, no, that's first of all, that's disconcerting because there are a lot of, my mother owns a home healthcare agency, and on social media, that's one thing that you would use as a hashtag. Yes. But secondly, Brenna, have you found, because Instagram will often block hashtags. So sometimes when you put in a hashtag and it you don't see it pop up or whatever, sometimes it could be because Instagram has blocked it because they've noticed that type of thing happening. Yeah. So have you noticed that that hashtag is blocked at all, Brenna? Because that's interesting.
Well, a lot of times people take over hashtags. Like when you type in heaven, hashtag heaven, you get some interesting stuff.
Right. Because they can control the hashtag to a certain point, but you can't stop someone from using a hashtag inappropriately. They can only you have, when you see that, Brenna, you have to report the account so they can kill the account or block it or whatever. But they can't, anyone can is co-opt or hijack a hashtag that's got an innocent theme. But for some reason, I don't know why they want to do caregiver. I'm trying to make the connection, but they can use that hashtag. That's the unfortunate side of the hashtags.
We're going to get Nazeem up in here. Let's see what he has to say. Hey,
Nazeem.
Hey, girls, my favorite show on the web. Do I have to cancel the order for my wife?
For the super shoes?
Just one history.
You got to explain that history.
Just no video,
she would kill me if I said this.
Look, hon, stripper shoes.
It's the latest fad. I heard it on the Biz Chicks show.
Don't blame us.
Wow.
Don't blame us.
Okay, wait, Nazim, before you comment, I want to pull Jay's comment up real quick. He says social media is a free service, so why are sex people complaining? If it was a paid service, they could complain. They should be hidden for everyone. Exactly. Exactly.
Totally agree.
Exactly. So what do you think about the complaint? Well, first of all, they're changing their gender on the profile from female to male. And one of the accounts that this is a HuffPost story. I'm going to put the link in.
Okay.
But one of the accounts noticed that when they switched it to male, that their engagement rates went up, and they were more. I think they were found more in the Explorer tab or something. So that was like,
and it may be because they allow males to show more of their upper body.
could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
Could be.
Yeah.
But talk about gaming the system.
That's been a problem, because especially by people that are like pro breastfeeding movement and that type of thing, this has been a problem. And the thing is that this is why when people say, well, tech is neutral, no, it's not, because the majority of tech is built by men, and they think and men and people that are not of color. So you see that, or the tech that's out there that is pushed anyway. So you see that they put their implicit biases, whether it's gender or ethnicity, into the tech.
Well,
not necessarily that they mean to do it, but that's how the way they live, and that's what they do.
Isn't this what really made the internet take off in the first place?
Good point.
Well,
Sex. People looking for
sadly
pictures.
enough, yes.
Okay. So is it really avoidable? And don't we owe them something?
no, we don't owe them a damn thing. It's free. Use what you can and move on.
And get on with it.
And don't complain if you don't have any more likes on Instagram. Jeez.
No, exactly. Well, this whole thing is really, if you are willing to pay to use these services, then maybe you have some cause to complain. But for the most part, it's free. Well, you're paying with your time and your data, but for the most part, it's free. So unless you're willing to pay, I really don't think we have anything to say. And this is why when all these things close and pivot, and people, you want to pick it with pitchforks in the street. All right, and they're torches. All right, well, go ahead and do that. But are you paying for it? Crickets. You're not.
Are you, Dr. Are you Tachi? Are you talking about Google Plus the day that closed? Jeez.
Was anybody even picketing? Did anybody even care?
Well, you know what? Donna is asking something about a ship. What is she talking about?
Cruise ship, probably.
Yeah, the Virgin
Voyages.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Hey, Nazim.
I work. Yeah, for most of the people that don't know, I have a digital agency here in Milan, which is where I'm right now. But I've been working with a cruise ship design studio for the last 27 years, and we are doing Richard Branson's two new ships, Scarlet Lady, which will be out of Miami, out of Bayside.
Oh wow! Okay.
And the second one just got announced. It will be going around the Mediterranean. And they're adult ships only, folks. Attention, shoppers.
Shoes will be appropriate.
Yes.
Wow.
And pole dancing.
So clearly it's not going to be an Instagram-friendly ship. So.
It depends on the audience. Okay.
True.
I mean, I brought this story up because it's like there's this wave of let's blame Instagram for our engagement woes when you're in an industry where, it's like they want to push away from that because advertisers don't want that kind of situation when they're advertising their brands. So the best way to go forward from here when you're doing content is think Disney. Think Disney. Does it fit Disney brand? Yeah, then you're pretty much safe. But if it's not, think, Instagram
I don't know.
is going to push this down.
Many shoes were pretty risque. I don't know.
The what was? Oh,
Mini shoes.
mini shoes. I'm like, what?
Those were what stripper shoes were based off of. Anyway,
He had on platforms.
she did.
But I'm gonna change the subject slightly a little bit
Please.
today.
Yeah.
This morning I was at WordPress camp in Milan,
Oh, okay.
and I walked into the room, and there was about 50 programmers in there, and 2 were women, and the rest were men.
Okay.
So that always kind of like, I'm like, why is there no more women programming behind this? You know, and what going back to what Dr. Tachi says, like somehow, you know, this whole thing, there's like this whole programmers and this and that. It's kind of like, it's always been the man's world. And I'm sitting there going like, really? Isn't it time that things kind of change, or what is it?
Well, Nazim, I mean, that is a really important point, but I think that representation means everything. And if you don't see yourself represented in certain fields, you don't think that that is something you can do.
Right.
Even now, even though we have, quote, all these opportunities open, there also exists in many of these places an organizational culture that is not amenable to others. So there's that. There's also the fact that you don't see recruiting and you know, from those areas, from these groups. And then I think it's also partially the onus is on us too. We don't see it, so we don't think we could do it, and we don't think we don't speak it out.
You in the educational space, you have to encourage girls to, you know, it has to start when they're girls. That's why we have the Black Girls Code, and there's other organizations where they're trying to bring in
projects all over
diversified.
the country.
But it has to start when they're young, to show them the opportunity of, okay, this is a track that you may want to go on. But if it's not shown to you at an early age, then it's not something that you may not be thinking about. And the you know, guidance counselors in high school, they might not be pushing that, or you know what I mean? It may not be being presented that way, which is another part of it.
Absolutely. So I think there are a lot of initiatives now that many groups have in order to try and encourage girls and young women to enter the STEM fields, or STEAM fields. So I think that's part of it. But then, you know, power also does not like to relinquish power.
True.
And when it's been the status quo for so long, it is like pulling teeth to get them to change. And you have to shame them into change, which is deplorable. But
you do.
More of that needs to happen.
You know what? My grandmother used to say, time will slow walk you down. At some point, some woman is going to inherit all this stuff. And things are going to change.
Or some woman is going to invent a tech company.
Exactly.
Well, I want to just quickly say, and this might be a little bit interesting. The Scarlet Lady from Virgin Voyages is the first ship that's going to have a female captain.
Ooh.
Wow.
Interesting.
Now that's news.
And that is huge news, because it's a very, as most you know, princess ships and all the other companies, they've always been men.
Yep.
So this is the first time we have a woman, and she's from Canada, Captain Wendy Williams.
I love it. But you know, the interesting thing about that is I'm waiting to see what comes out, because often when you get in new blood, there's always this look of, if anything goes wrong, they're going to put it on the fact that it's Captain Wendy Williams that day. Yeah, absolutely. Which you know, probably no, the same thing would have gone wrong had it been a man, maybe.
Yeah, but I call it the V factor. It was like when I first went to buy a car by myself in the 90s, and I was without your husband. I'm like, excuse me? I mean, I know, and it has not been that long.
Let me cancel that stripper shoes order, because I didn't.
Because that could be an issue. That could be an issue.
No, that's the type of thing that, I mean, and this is the 90s.
I just call it the V factor. I call it the
Isn't that crazy? It's so crazy.
It is. So, I mean, please don't be upset when I wind up and backhand you, because please don't be upset then. That is really the 90s. Wow.
The 90s. Couldn't buy furniture. I mean, we're talking in California,
really,
which was supposed to be a progressive state.
Right.
And I'm working every day for the state of California. I'm like, okay, you know, I used to be the director of the Human Relations Commission for Pennsylvania, right? We're getting ready to to sign some papers here.
Wow.
It was very interesting. You'd be surprised what happens. So there are a lot of things that are at play here in the Z. That's just my point.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point.
But
Also,
we will inherit. We will slow walk you down. Statistics are in our favor. We will outlive it.
I'm very curious about the first female president in the United States, when that will occur.
Well, you know, we don't even want to do politics.
Let's not
go down that rabbit hole.
We don't have time for that.
Let's go back to tech. Let's go back to tech.
The shoes are as close as we'll get. Okay.
Whew.
Really. So, my ladies, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Tachi, the media stuff. We didn't.
Yeah. So I'll talk really quickly about this one story. It is a tech event that was a media event. Who watched Elon Musk unveil the Cybertruck?
I did.
I didn't see the unveiling, but I saw it. I saw that it was done.
That man, that man has some sort of issues.
The stock went down. The stock went down today.
Did it?
Are we surprised? Are we surprised? So if you haven't seen it, I wish that
stock went down.
It is based on, according to a tweet that Elon Musk put out yesterday. He got the inspiration for it from I can't remember the model, but the car that was 007's car in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay.
So that was the inspiration. I also see a little bit of souped up DeLorean. I also see a moon rover, or a space rover.
It looked kind of mechanical to me, like
and
like
I
a
also
Lego project.
He's so proud of it.
He is very proud. And the thing is, I thought I don't know if you guys saw it, but with the sledgehammer thing, when they did it to show how durable the steel was, or the body was, I said, okay, here it comes. He's going to do this, and that exoskeleton will crumble off, and the real car will be underneath. I really thought that this was a scheme. It is not. And then with the windows breaking, right? So he made a big deal of showing how durable this metallic glass was, and that it was unbreakable. So they dropped it from above on a pallet. They did regular auto glass, and then this. And then they took that same damn heavy ball and threw it at the glass. Not once, but twice. Something should have told you, okay, it broke once. We're not going to do it again. No, he did it again, and it broke again. So, but the thing is, I purely think that Elon Musk is not doing this necessarily for the profit or the money. He has visions of things he wants to see happen. Yes. And because he has, quote, the money to do it, he just does it. He doesn't give a damn what other people think. He doesn't care. No, he doesn't care. He's not doing it for the profit. This car also looks like, what show I love? I love the not the monster. What is it called? Where they build these
the Robot Wars.
The Robot Wars. I love Robot Wars.
Yes.
I absolutely love Robot Wars. This looks like I was fully waiting for some sort of claw to come out or circular saw and decimate everything in its path. This is what it looks like. And built based on what he did before with the flamethrower. Remember, he had the flamethrower. He has that kind of, I don't want to say destructive mind, but
distracted mind.
Yes. We'll call it a distracted mind as opposed to destructive. That's what I think about this. It was a media event though, because they do the whole thing with the countdown and it's coming and the theatrics and the lights. Was really a media event. And again, this coincided with the Los Angeles Auto Show. Mm-hmm. So that was perfect time for this to debut. But I'm like, I think it's a gimmick, although I already know. And here's the thing that they did. They also lowered the amount that you need to reserve. So when the Model 3 came out, when they did the Model 3 event, you needed $1,000 in order to reserve it, which is still not a lot. Now you can reserve this for $100.
Reserve what? This monster car?
The truck. The monster truck.
My question is, why is he calling it a truck? It doesn't look like a truck.
No, it doesn't.
Like a car to me.
Well, here's the thing. It does have a flatbed, right? So
Right.
they can
Oh, it
open
does?
the back. It does have a flatbed,
Okay.
and they also built an ATV. So they made a big deal out of riding the ATV up into the back. I'm like, are we serious here? Please tell me that the real event is about to start, and this was just a gimmick.
Doesn't it come with the ATV? I mean, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I think it comes with the ATV. I'm not 100% sure. Does anybody know
I don't
if
know.
that's
No
an
idea.
I don't know.
upgrade
I'm
or?
pressing Tesla right now. Wait,
No idea.
the Tesla Cybertruck first ride inside Elon. Okay, so was he smoking before he did this one? Because
He must have been smoking. He must have also served as the crash test dummy, because I don't know that he. I put this, something is off. I put this as a what the hell is this segment, and I was dying to talk about this with people, because in the other life nobody else cares, but I know my online folks care about
I know Francine cares because she is all about Tesla. So
and so am I, but I am very hugely disappointed in this new offering.
You know what? I just think I was distracted by the lines, because everything's so round now. To get these angles all of a sudden was just, and it's very boxy.
Yeah,
very boxy.
Yes.
We're going back to the 70s.
Remember that when things were pointed and
Absolutely.
Weird.
Absolutely.
No, I do have to say about Elon Musk is I have a dear friend of mine who works at ESA, which is a European Space Agency, and he's in charge of the propulsion for all the Vega satellites. And every time we have dinner or we meet with him, I meet up with him, I always go, dude, yeah, you guys are really good at launching the rockets, but can you make it land back on a platform? And he looks, Nazim, shut up. So Musk with SpaceX, the fact that they can send something up in space and make it come back on a platform, that's pretty amazing.
Wow.
And I haven't seen NASA do that, nor ESA, nor the European Space Agency.
Well, I can't say much since I can't probably get a rocket up past my roof.
Indirectly, my boss, Richard Branson, is working with the what is it called, the Galaxy things that they're going to be sending out. So you can go. You can go in. No, well, he said he's going to this summer. He's going to go on the first ride.
Wow.
And
I'm all for this. I'm all for technology. I'm a techie. I love this kind of stuff. I think at the end of the day, well, Elon Musk doesn't care whether or not this really flies, but I think this will start a conversation about not only what is possible, but what people are willing to buy and what will fly. I think the masses largely are directed by industry as opposed to because I think sometimes we don't know what we want. So we could all be completely off the mark, and people might really gravitate towards this. Somehow I don't think. But.
That's a very good point. I mean, what about Amazon Echo and now Google Nest and all these devices that we talk to? That's quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Was it something that we needed? Is it something that makes our life?
Was it something I said? No.
Alexa, check the status on my stripper shoes.
I have a question about this car. Now, this car starts at $40,000.
Yeah.
People are going to buy this car if for nothing else.
That is the thing yes, those are the things that it has on its side. I mean, the specs are actually pretty good as well. You could get from the middle tier 300 plus miles on a single charge. So that's pretty good specs. But I would also say that the price, if nothing else, is what it has going for it. Think about a pickup and what you have to spend on a pickup. For many people, aren't we talking about upwards of sometimes $70,000?
I mean, people
depending on what it 50 to 70.
On these.
Now, would you personally spend that much on a car or a truck? I don't know.
Never. I am an A to B person. He is not talking to me. I'm an A to B.
Even if I had the money, I mean, it's kind of like, whoa. It's a show-off factor a little bit.
It is. It is the fact to say that for somebody that has it, that I have this toy. That's what it is. Or somebody that really wants a pickup, because remember, we've been waiting for this pickup for a while. They've been promising a pickup for a while. We've been waiting, and now they deliver this.
So
But
my question to you is that a bed in the back?
yes, there it is. Oh, you mean a bed or like a truck bed? Yeah.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, now I see it.
At that price, it better have also the jacuzzi.
You know what I mean? I thought it was, had a roof going over the back like a
But you can open it
like a fastback. Remember fastbacks?
Mm-mm.
Remember the term? You don't remember the term fastbacks, and it's sort of slanted.
Oh, it's slanted. Yeah.
Are we talking Pinto?
We're going back and forward. Yeah,
that's what I had in college, a Ford Fiesta or.
Yeah, it's interesting. So then we just sort of sit in the front for $40,000.
No. You can actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it has the 2 front, and then the back seat's like 3, and then it has the flatbed.
Okay.
So
it's like a truck. It's
like a truck, right? Now, what they did not do was display the inside, and I've been unable to find accurate pictures, but I did catch some glimpses when I was watching the event of that. So
and that's right. I just got glimpses. I didn't see all the seating. So let me close this because I'm like, what is she talking about? I had to see.
I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks for inviting.
Oh,
it's always a pleasure to come in and kind of break up the Biz Chicks
send
atmosphere.
Some information about the Scarlet Lady.
Yes.
It's going to be launching in April in Miami, and right now it's in sea trials out in the coast of France.
Wow.
Have a great weekend, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Nazim.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Always good to have you. Always good to have Nazim.
Yeah, great.
Hatchbacks. That's what it was. Anna
the hatchback.
Hatchback. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you know what you mean, hatchback.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does have a hatchback feel. Look, I'm sorry.
It's
ugly. I am sorry. It is ugly.
But people will buy it.
People will buy it as ugly as it is.
Opinion. I prefer the word distinctive.
Distinctively ugly.
All right.
And then Hannah says depreciation is going insane. And here we go. I'll be paying for my new Tesla in box tops. Okay.
General Mills box tops. I'm telling you.
It does look like a toy. Like something out of a cereal.
It looks like a toy. Here's the thing. Because he was inspired by the car, the car from The Spy That Loved Me, that car was an amphibious vehicle. And so this is what I'm predicting next, that he's going to come up with some sort of amphibious vehicle. This vehicle is too heavy for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if his next thing was an amphibious vehicle.
So I'm presuming that this car runs on a charge. It's not.
Yes.
It's not hybrid.
It's not hybrid.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it up for a second, so everybody can see. That's it.
Oh, there's the back.
See, yeah. So it is like a truck.
And there's the ultra-terrain vehicle.
Yeah.
So that shows us how much it holds. Would you want to be in the back seat of that? It looks low. Doesn't it look low?
It does look low. It looks like the ceiling is low, but
people will buy it. They're definitely going to buy it.
They will. As to whether or not they're going to make anything off of this,
right?
It remains to be seen. To me, this is a very niche vehicle.
I don't know. I guess it'll come and cut. I guess you could go have it. You could have it detailed or painted or whatever.
Design your own car like they do with the others.
See, but here's the thing. This is not for the normal pickup brigade.
Right. But
it is not.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, like Ram trucks and this. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, it's a truck in his mind.
You're not exactly. You're not going to see people that do labor hauling stuff. You're not going to see landscaping companies do. No, this is not that type of party.
What this reminds me of? Remember when the Hummer came out?
Exactly. That is exactly it.
Hummer's a military vehicle.
And that is the audience for this.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger made it famous. So people were buying it because, it's the Hummer. And they, people look at
Exactly.
it.
And it's for celebrities when they go down to check out the ranch once or twice a year.
Right.
Exactly. And I said this last night when I was talking to Bobby Shadow about this. I said, he asked, do you think this is something that will fly? I said, well, on the surface, no, but possibly, because nobody ever would have predicted the Hummer would be so popular. The thing that really killed the Hummer was really when the market tanked and nobody could really afford to fill the Hummer with gas anymore.
With gas, right.
That's really what did it. So, we wouldn't have predicted the Hummer. Maybe this is something that could fly. But again, the typical Ram truck or Dodge truck brigade, this is not for them.
No, this is for people that buy Yeezys and
because most people
ugly shoes, but they're made by Kanye, so they're worth something, and they're thousands of dollars. I don't care. It's not something I would want. Hey, Carlos. Carlos is in the building after we getting ready to go. Carlos,
we were talking about this Cybertruck. I saw the article, but since I wasn't interested in cars, I really didn't play the video. I'm so glad you pointed this out.
Every news show was talking about this Cybertruck. Should we call it a fiasco? Because I don't know. They say about throwing the rock at the glass, because the glass is supposed to be unbreakable or bulletproof or something. And the guy was throwing. He did it twice. That's what Tachi said. Mm-hmm. He did it once. He threw the rock, and seeing that. Oh snap! It's not supposed to do that. And then
it wasn't supposed to
at the second window.
I thought so. It wasn't supposed to make that spider on the window. It was just supposed to bounce off.
No,
it was not supposed to break. But the thing that kills me is after it broke twice, he says, "Well, it didn't break completely."
Yeah, I thought he was just saying it was resistant. Because, if I'm going to invest in this vehicle to do an important job that involves tactical weapons, I might not want the glass to be breakable. Now, and that's another scary thing. What will police departments do with this tank on the street?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought about that. We are in a very hyper-policed state right now. And I'm very interested to see what their response is going to be. I don't know go ahead.
Would they have to take some kind of military approach to stop that? People are running through crowds with vehicles, okay? Or let's just say in the recent past.
Correct.
So if they were coming through there with this, how would you stop this thing?
I wanted to show this real quick. I found the video of
where he hits the window.
Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, I think I can. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so roll the video. Okay, and it wasn't supposed to do that. Huh? Oh, I saw where he hit the door.
Yes,
that was good.
Yes, I was thinking that's when the exoskeleton was going to crumble off, and we would see the real thing.
Yeah. Something's going on with my internet. There it is.
Well, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
There it goes. So it wasn't. There's an actual hole there, huh? Oh, oh, that's so sad. It didn't.
Well, it didn't go through exactly.
Let's
try the other one. Yeah.
See, don't do it again. And see, he didn't throw it that hard. He just kind of tossed it.
It didn't go through, is what the man said. There's room for improvement. No stuff, Sherlock. Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. That's what you call going viral. they love that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. This was a media event as much as it was a technology event. And that's why I thought it was interesting to talk about.
Right. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially since
we are so happy for them. Somebody over here on The Verge says it looks like an angry triangle.
It does. It's angry. It really does.
Oh, poor baby. I'm so sorry for him. I love a creative mind. You have to admit it stands out.
It does. If nothing else, it stands out. And I think that Elon Musk's sole purpose on Earth is to provoke thought.
Attention.
Is to yes.
Mhm.
There you
Get
go.
attention and to provoke thought
Mhm.
as to what is possible, what could be. Not that it necessarily will work, not that it necessarily will sell. I think he just wants to provoke thought. He's the type of person that, just pays for things just to see if it will work.
I mean, I thought it was, I thought it was genius for him to build that solar battery that stick in your house. I was like, whoa. You stick it on your house. Yeah. And your bill is like pennies.
Oh, we need to talk about that. I'm not familiar with that.
The thing is, there's no attention on that. There's attention on the thing that, like Tachi said, he's just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Exactly, and seeing what sticks.
Well, Carlos says glass needs to be able to break.
True. I agree.
Because what if you're stuck in it? How are you going to get rescued?
What if you lock your kid in the car?
That's the thing. That's interesting. Yeah. Where if you need to get out, it may be a very difficult task to do so. Right. So the emphasis here is on nothing destructing it or getting in. What if you need to get out? Okay. Is there an escape hatch?
Safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Safety issues.
This is a truck for the people that buy Yeezys. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
Now, Ann says, unless maybe it's bulletproof. Okay. Now,
I don't know what was it. It's supposed to something about destructive that they were supposed to demo it, and I don't know.
Maybe to see what happens in a crash. Can we see the crash dummies after this? Let's see.
Good question.
It doesn't seem like it could haul lumber, scaffolding, and materials. They're not talking to you, Brenna.
They're not talking to us. They're calling it a truck, but it's not a Ram pickup.
It's a vanity project.
Not a vanity.
Yes. This is a concept car, to be honest. If you think of it as a concept car.
Where's the eject button? I mean, it's a space vehicle. Why wouldn't it be an eject button?
Isn't it shaped like the stealth bomber or something?
It really looks like a Hummer.
I don't know.
I think we're not ready for this. I think that he is before his time when it comes to it, but there are people who are going to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
And there are always people before their time, and we all laughed. We laughed at them, did we not?
Okay,
we did.
Is saying
the general public laughed at him.
That's what he's saying, that it is a pickup truck, and it is for that. That's what he's saying.
It is a pickup truck, but the thing is, it is not aimed at the Ram or the Dodge Ram Brigade. It is for people that is, like you said, the Yeezy crowd. Yeah. They're not going to buy that. I mean, because think about it. There is a very so that also comes with our society and the way we frame things. There is a very quote macho attitude around having a pickup truck, a traditional looking pickup truck. This is not that.
Jeans,
this is not for cowboys.
Cowboy hat.
This is not for cow. It does not emote the level of masculinity that and think about it. The people who drive pickups, not everybody. It's a very quote masculine thing. The way we framed it in our society.
But look at the personal brand of Elon Musk.
I think
some things that
it's slick and sleek.
Yeah, I think it's a sexy truck. And so those people who are looking for something, quote unquote sexy, it is a truck is just a macho thing. Mm-hmm. So, but now I'm not necessarily a cowboy, but I may be like gangster. Like maybe this is a truck for
maybe
people who have been indicted. I don't know.
Maybe if you camel wrap it or something.
In a camouflage wrap. But see. Now we're doing too much.
Well, it's already stealth. Why would you wrap it?
How about bedazzle it?
Well, but see that's probably
then we could take it off our taxes. If we put ads on it.
Oh, that's true. You can make money that way wrapping your car.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see who actually gravitates towards this. If our predictions are right, again, I'm predicting this is the first step in the warped plan of the mind that is Elon Musk in terms of other vehicles. Like I said, I'm fully expecting some sort of amphibious vehicle, some sort of submarine type vehicle, something that involves water. I'm fully expecting that from him
They're
next.
going to ride that into the back of the truck like they did the ATV.
Exactly.
Dr. Tachi is right, is that, he's building things for thought. I mean, who knows it? Someone could see this and could be the prototype that leads to something that is more
Correct.
But he's shown the way.
Carlos likes it. Carlos says it's more durable and tougher than any truck.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm just saying that
Absolutely.
you have to,
and it's 40,000.
the market, but you still have to think about the market, and the market isn't liking this. Tesla's down 6%.
Well, I think it's an urban vehicle. I don't think it's a suburban vehicle.
It is not. It is not for people who haul things.
It's an urban vehicle.
So don't call it a cyber truck. Call it something else.
Well, I mean, he invented it. Can he call it what he want to call it?
He can call it whatever the hell he wants. And look, he doesn't give a damn about the market being down. He doesn't give a damn about what we think about it. He wanted to make this Cybertruck. He wanted to call it a Cybertruck. That's exactly what he did.
Anna says she said, oh my goodness, pickup trucks are getting bigger and bigger, taller, and women are buying them around here where she is anyway, she's saying.
You see, and I can see this truck appealing to women. It's sexy. And it's got a great big computer screen.
Somebody's going to wrap theirs in Pepto-Bismol.
They're not going to ask for directions.
Listen, somebody's going to wrap theirs in Pepto-Bismol pink, and it's going to be driven down Hollywood Boulevard.
And bedazzled out. Absolutely. And you know what? I think it was purposely done.
Yeah.
Mary Kay. Oh, yeah. I mean, because that costs less than the pink Cadillac that they give already.
It's an attention getter. It's definitely an attention getter. And,
And they will paint it any color you want it.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I think that's the thing, that it's very customizable in terms of the specs of it as well as the look of it. So, I mean, I think there is something there. I'm not saying that there is nothing there. Personally, it's damn ugly in my estimation. However, there are some people that are lining up for it because it is new.
I'm going to say, if you're a brand out there and you want attention, you better buy the first one that rolls off of the assembly line and put your brand on it and drive it around.
Is it for her? Oh. She's in the little ad there. This truck is for her, right? Do you see her walking across the thing? Let's see.
Was that model? The model, probably. But remember, this is, like you said, this is a sexy truck. This is all about urban sexy. That's what it is. Urban sexy.
And that's what the Hummer was about, right?
Urban sexy.
And people are going to go to the prom in this.
Or business that you want some attention to your business, go buy the first one that rolls off, wrap it in your brand and drive it around town.
People are going to be renting this to show up at the Oscars and everything else.
Yep. Whatever, but
because Lady Gaga can come out the bed of the truck. I mean, come on.
You know what? Exactly. But see, now it's not going to be a draw because everybody's going to do that. But
well, she'll have her egg in the back, and she can just hatch herself right on out the hatch.
I see so many uses for it, but we'll see. We'll see what someone's going to do something.
We will see. We shall soon see.
There you go. So, guys.
Yes, we got to wrap it up.
We're going to wrap this up. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Unless does anybody have something pressing? Did we got so distracted? I'm so sorry about the shoes.
No,
it was not intentional.
Sorry today. We did coverage today.
Yeah,
we're good.
All right. Okay. With that, we want to thank everybody who's watching on the replay, and those of you who are watching live. Carlos, we're giving you a great big shout out. Hey. Anna, Brenna, all of you who tuned in.
Natalie.
Nazim.
Oh, what happened?
Uh-oh. She dropped out.
Something happened. All right, so we're going to, I forgot the tagline. Don't forget to go to
the front of your own line.
Oh, there she is. Let me bring her back. What happened?
Bye-bye.
Okay,
bye.
Yeah, my internet me out. I was like,
it
cut her off? Oh wow.
Oh, okay. No, we had a good show. I mean, it ran over, but that's
I had no idea. And when I saw the price, I was like, 39,000.
Really good. $100 to reserve.
You know, people gonna line up for $100. They're gonna line up to get that truck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's why they made it low as well, too, to generate the interest. If it only costs you $100 and you know it's probably going to be another 2 years before you get it, you'll do it now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see that. And I can see it being, you know, an urban thing.
I think so. I think so.
It's definitely a attention getter.
I'm surprised he had to get off the bike to open up the bed. Why wasn't there a remote?
I don't know.
Well, like he said, there's room for improvement.
Maybe the next one will have a remote.
You know,
Exactly.
what I mean? Because the what-you-call-them bed comes down. Doesn't the forward bed open up with the foot pedal?
Yeah, there's a thing. Yeah, you touch, you wave or something, and it
Yeah.
comes.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law, her thing, she's got a button on the back. So why couldn't there just be a remote? It's obviously electronic. I'm just thinking because it's supposed to be so advanced.
Yeah. Maybe it's in the next one. In the next
Because he's lifting that gate to close it. Yeah.
We're still live.
Are we still live?
Yes. Anna says we're still live.